Okay, welcome everyone. Just to start with, as we enter the group, we've been guided to, as we come onto the group and we sit in front of all the images we see, we just start the group with this feeling of extending love to everyone. Just for a few moments, just sit quietly and feel this love reaching out from you to everyone, enveloping everyone here in the group. You can take any form you like as a sort of visualization or just a feeling, because it's abstract. Just let, if you want to look around at your brothers, the images, just feel this all-encompassing love, encompassing all. That's what it means. That's what all-encompassing means. It encompasses all. And now extend that to all brothers. Just feel all brothers are enveloped in this love. And even if you struggle with this type of abstract idea, just let go and just try. That's all he's asking us to do, is try. And as you keep experiencing it all, or being willing to do something that feels quite abstract, you will notice at some stage you'll feel it. That's the thing, we have to put ourselves out into some ideas and experiences that just may take a little while to bring that experience in. So welcome to anyone that hasn't been on here for a while. Seeing some new faces. It's wonderful to have you with us. We are in the mind, we're not in body. So even though you're looking at bodies, we're not there. We're not in a body. We're mind, and we're joined in that mind. And we're all joined in that mind, that Christ mind now. So you might be able to experience this as you go through today's meditations. So with the last 2 weeks, we've been doing the Christ blessing, and we will do that from time to time, mixed in with other course teachings and experiences. These are tools. They're all those tools that join together until you don't need them. There will come a time where there's no forgiveness to do. There's nothing to forgive. I say thank you to the ones that reached out with their beautiful messages of their experiences over the last 2 weeks. And thank you to the ones that have written in the Zoom to Miracles Facebook page to share it. It's so lovely. And if you found it, you just found it difficult, don't worry. The time will come when there'll be this great willingness to really practice it and really mean it with all your heart. Because generally when we're unsure, that just means we're a little bit fearful or we have doubt. We have doubt about the Holy Spirit. We have doubt about Jesus. We have doubt about God. And that's okay. That doubt comes and goes. You can look back on your journey and notice how doubt comes and goes, and it will come and go. So you can ascertain, oh, I've just got a bit of doubt at the moment. You don't have to go into a big story. Just say, I've got some doubt. And then you can say, Holy Spirit, I give you this doubt. Please come into my mind and bring something in that brings some more certainty. So you can even offer up the miracle around doubt. You can offer up for a miracle. So today's session is we're going to be going through lesson 91. Miracles are seen in light. And these lessons that talked about light, when I went through the course for many years, these were the most difficult ones for me because I couldn't relate to the word light. So these are put in here because there are some minds that really connect to this word. So as you can see, it's the same thing presented over and over, but just he uses different words. And it's for a purpose because there's some that are going to really connect with this and not other lessons. It's all divinely crafted, you might say, in that everybody gets it differently going through those lessons, but there's something for you in how you need to hear it. That's why he presents it with so many different ways, so many different ideas, so many different words, all pointing to the same thing. So miracles are seen in light. So when I came to these lessons, I thought, I just got no idea what this means. So light, miracle, light, the word light, you could say, is Holy Spirit's vision, Jesus's vision, right-minded thoughts, truth, the Christ light in your mind. It's always something in your mind. Miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in Holy Spirit's vision. So that's when we ask the Holy Spirit for help. All through the course, he's asking us to ask for Holy Spirit or ask him to look with you. So we're all the time in becoming willing to keep asking, inviting, help me see this differently. Help me see it as you see it. Look upon it with me now and show me what is really there. All these are sort of prayers to the Holy Spirit. It's just that willingness. It comes from this desire, this really deep desire within ourselves to say, I want to see what I can't see now, but not with our eyes. The images don't change. They literally don't. But what changes is how you view it. So this viewing, this perception your mind is going to change. It's going to be becoming more established in the Holy Spirit part of your mind. You're going to look, when you're looking with the Holy Spirit, you're looking with the Holy Spirit mind. So, we've got two choices, the ego or the Holy Spirit. When we say we're looking, we're perceiving, we're interpreting, we're so if you, whatever you look at here in the world, whatever you're looking at is an image. It is simply an image. A really nice way to think of this, because we really think that everything has the meaning that we've put on it. We're so imbued in that. But one thing that might help you understand this concept, that is the concept that takes you out of concepts, right? Is imagine if you walk into an art gallery and you look at an abstract painting, and I don't know about you, but at times when I've been to galleries and they've hung this, you know, this abstract painting in like the most prominent part of the gallery, and you know it's by this famous painter, you know, it's put up there like, wow, how amazing is this? And you look at it and you think, what is it meant to be? What is it? What am I meant to see in this? Right? I used to feel a fear like I'm going to look a fool because I don't know what it is. Is it something? Is it meant to represent something? And I always, this was the ego part of my mind, was like feeling like I didn't want to look like a fool and say to someone, is that part there meant to be that? And, you know, try to make a meaning. But literally, as I was going through the period of undoing, the Holy Spirit showed me that that's what we're looking at all the time. Where literally everything we see is like an abstract piece of art. And but what's happened here is we are sure of the meaning. We think we're sure. We think, you know, that person over there is bad and that one over there is good. And, you know, those flowers on that tree are nice, but those ones I don't like. And that, you know, that car is good, that car isn't, you know, that house is good, that house isn't, you know. And every single thing you're looking at during the day with the ego, all it does is compare and judge. That's its job. Judge, compare. You can see it. It's completely tiring in that mind, right? Because it's trying to make sense of what it's seeing. Because it's seeing abstract art. Nothing has any meaning until the mind gives it. And as Jesus says, the ego rushes in to give the meaning, because God forbid you see it has no meaning. And then there's these moments where, you know, I mean, the first lesson, nothing I see means anything. And then the second, my mind, my thoughts have given everything all the meaning it has for me. And just in those two lessons, is literally can take you home. Because if you can see, if you can really look and look at the images as abstract art, and that's what he guided me to do. He said, you think you know, you think you look at something and you go, oh yes, that's that. And he says, you never question that actually somebody else looking at that same thing is seeing something different. So is it the truth? And he got me to query and question everything that I was looking at and believing this is right, that's wrong, this is the way you live your life, this is the way you eat, this is the way you do this. Everything about our lives, we are literally living in a mind that is telling us what everything is and how it is. And this start to unwind it, well, seeing it, we have to see that we've given it the meaning. And when I say we, our thoughts, you start to say, oh, yes. And so I've shared this before, how just for months I went around and everything I looked at, he would say, what meaning are you giving that? And I'd say, oh, yeah, I have given it a meaning. And he showed me how the meaning changed over time. So certain things that I thought were good, he just went into a lot of detail about how it was dust really that I was valuing. He would drill down and say, look, that thing that you're desiring is going to rot and fall apart and go back to dust. And then, you know, he showed me just so many things and showed me how the meaning, not as a judgment, but just a clearing out of my mind. So miracles these are the miracles, right? What he was showing me is the miracles, because I'm now seeing how he's showing me. So miracles are seen in light. Miracles are seen in how I look at my brother, how I look at the world, how I look at myself, how I look at everything, which is undoing the ego part of my mind. It's weakening it. So when we say miracles are seen in light, initially I thought that some light had to go on in my mind, or I had to see a flash of light or something, right? But this is the way he's asking us. He's using the word light to represent the truth in our mind, the Holy Spirit, Jesus's mind, the Christ's mind. So miracles are seen in light. Miracles are perceived through the Holy Spirit mind. That seen is the word perceived, because he's not talking, when he uses the word see, he's meaning a perception. So I might get Shannon to start off reading this. Just before you do, I just want to say there's 2 meditations in this lesson. If you've got your book open, lesson 91, you don't have to have the book in front of you to do today's meditations. And so we're going to do 2 20-minute meditations based on this section. And so here we go. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you, Cate. So this is lesson 91, miracles are seen in light. It is important to remember that miracles and vision necessarily go together. This needs repeating, and frequent repeating. It is a central idea in your new thought system and the perception that it produces. The miracle is always there. Its presence is not caused by your vision. Its absence is not the result of your failure to see. It is only your awareness of miracles that is affected. You will see them in the light. You will not see them in the dark.
Thanks, Shannon. So with the light and the dark, it's the Holy Spirit versus the ego. These are the terms that are now, he's putting them in different terms. And all we need to do is be aware that these terms are for some minds, that they're going to really link into these terms. You may link into these terms. I didn't. But when you are clear about what these things mean, it really starts to it just makes sense. You can understand it. So to you then, light is crucial, right? In other words, having the light of truth, God's love, God's wisdom, the Holy Spirit's guidance is crucial. While you remain in darkness, which is the ego thought system, the miracle remains unseen. Thus, you are convinced it is not there. So in other words, well, just for example, doing the cross blessing, if you don't feel that, if you haven't experienced seeing the innocence and the sinlessness of your brother, if you haven't experienced it, you will probably confirm yourself, I don't think it's there. I don't know what everyone else is saying, but I can't see it, I can't experience it, so I don't think it's there. And this is what I was like when I was doing my undoing period. I would say to him, I've got no idea what you're talking about. I don't know what this is, but I'm open to experiencing it. So I'm happy. I was a happy learner, you might say. I'm happy for you to show me. So you can ask the Holy Spirit and Jesus to bring in the experience. So, and so he's telling us that we are convinced it's not there. In other words, another perception, which is the miracle, we think another perception isn't there because we're unaware of it. And so we're convinced it can't be there because I'm living in this mind. I'm seeing the world this way. I've got all these thoughts. And so we literally feel that all these things that he's presenting in the course can't be there because we're not experiencing it as yet. So when we read these little lines, we have to sort of check in and say, oh, yes, I do feel, I am convinced it's not there. So don't sort of rush through these lessons, like just check in and say, yeah, I do feel I'm not convinced that there's another way to perceive things. I hear him talk about all these different ways, but I'm not experiencing that now. But it's literally, the way I like to explain it is, it's like there's a room in your house that you've never been in, and you're convinced that there's no other room until, like, the Holy Spirit comes in and says, oh, there's a secret door, and opens it. You go in and you say, oh, I never knew this was here. So until you're in that other room, you have no awareness of it. So when you have no awareness of miracles, which is really the Holy Spirit's view of things, these holy instants and these different ways of perceiving, all you need to say is that, look, I'm not seeing it yet, but I'm willing to be led there. So this whole Course in Miracles is about us recognizing that we are convinced that it's not there, right? But as he says, all we need to do is have that little willingness. So as all the things that we're doing in this group, and I'm sure other groups too that are doing things, all you need to do is have that little willingness to step forward and say, hey, I'm going to give this a go. And even if you don't get the experience straight away, all you need to do is keep being willing, because it takes time. And we don't understand all the obstacles in our mind. We've got no idea of the obstacles we have in our mind to letting those go. So it's just, we just give over time, and it does take time. So be patient, be kind to yourself, and you're going to have ups and downs. You're going to have doubt, and then feeling of certainty and wanting to do this. And then you're going to have doubt. You're going to have good days and bad days, right? It is the nature of this coming to God, right? I doubt whether there's anyone that just, reads the course and just gets it. There will probably are a few, I'm sure. So it's always good to remind ourselves and each other to just be patient, be kind, don't judge yourself when you're joining with the ego and, enjoying its judgment and comparison and thinking that you're getting something from it. So, thus are you convinced it is not there. This follows from the premise from which the darkness comes. Denial of light leads to failure to perceive it. So we have denied the light. We may not feel we have, but we have to get really honest, and you might say that you might feel some fear of having the light of the Holy Spirit in your mind. And then you can give him that fear, and you can say, look, I'm feeling fear about having you in my mind. I'm worried about how that would be. And anything that you feel any fear about, just ask him to come in and help you. Give it over and say, look, I release this fear. Can you come in and give me something that's going to make me feel safe? That if I let go of this ego mind and the world and just come to you and have my being in you, that I will feel safe and secure. Failure to perceive light is to perceive darkness. So literally we're in the ego. So the darkness isn't just a term for the ego, and the light is the Holy Spirit. The light is useless to you, then even though it is there. So our Holy Spirit part of our mind is always there, always waiting for us to call upon it. You cannot use it because its presence is unknown to you. And the seeming reality of the darkness makes the idea of light meaningless. It is seemingly the reality of this world, which is the darkness in our mind, the projected world. We're so caught up in this feeling that there's something to get here, and the ego will keep us searching and searching and searching for something in this world to bring us peace. And it never will come. This peace and joy and happiness that we are seeking never comes from seeking in the dream. It just doesn't. Everything here, this projected dream, has nothing in it that brings us any peace or happiness. So all this darkness, we're really searching around, like in a room that has the light switches off. There's no light and the room's dark, and we're stumbling around trying to find something in the dark, but we're stubbing our toe and we're hitting our arm because we're stumbling around in the dark trying to find something. And yet really what we need to do is turn on the light, which is turn to the Holy Spirit and ask him to light our mind up with that inner light. He's going to bring this beautiful love into our experience. He's going to tell us how beautiful and holy we are. He's going to show us how our brother is beautiful and holy. He's going to come into our mind and change our perception about everything. He's going to change our perception about the world, what we think is death, everything. So we just give over time for the miracles. So Shannon, would you like to read on? Thanks.
Thanks, Cate. To be told that what you do not see is there sounds like insanity. It is very difficult to become convinced that it is insanity not to see what is there and to see what is not there instead. You do not doubt that the body's eyes can see. You do not doubt the images they show you are reality. Your faith lies in the darkness, not the light. How can this be reversed? For you, it is impossible, but you are not alone in this. It's funny because I got to a point in studying the course where I realized that all of the information gathering, everything that I was doing, all of the workshops, all of the reading, even the guidance that I was getting in the beginning, it was all just to trust him. That's it. Everything I did, every single thing was to trust him to lead my mind out of here. It just took a lot of, it seems to me to be a lot of effort, but.
Yeah. Yeah, Jesus says that we're not aware of the magnitude of that one decision. And so what happens is we are led very, very gently, very quietly and very gently through these miracles. So we don't have to rush. We take our time. I didn't have a timeline for it. When I made my decision that I was all in that day, I sat on the bed and I said, this is what I'm going to do now. I'm just going to do the Course in Miracles properly. I didn't feel I had a really strong connection to Jesus or the Holy Spirit, but I spent a lot of time connecting, writing questions and answers down. I felt like answers were coming through, but I was just so, listening to the ego, but not even realizing it. I just had to understand what the ego was in a lot of ways. But I knew that it was something in my mind that was very dark, right? Because I really felt this deep unworthiness, this idea that somehow I'd really sinned, but I could never find where I'd done that, right? It was just this really deep belief that I was sort of this stained with this sin. And so that's the darkness, this idea that I'm sinful or guilty or have done something wrong. And it's sort of very abstract too, right? Because there's nothing I had really ever done, right, in this lifetime. And even if I had have, he still would have led me out to say, your true self is beautiful, perfect, and whole, right? He was showing me that. And like Shannon said, it was really developing that trust. And I didn't know how long it was going to take to undo the ego. I just said, look, for the rest of this lifetime, I'm going to do the best I can each day to ask the Holy Spirit for help during the day to look at something differently. So he just took me through lesson after lesson after lesson. It was like I had the inner guide. And as I went through it, I could hear better. I could hear him much clearer. At the start, I could hardly hear him. And when I say him, it's not him. It's just a voice within your mind that's there to help you. So number 4, your efforts, however that little they may be, have strong support. So this is the lovely little line. Your efforts, however little they may be, have strong support. And it's like another quote from the Course. Each small step clears away a little bit of the darkness. So don't think, if you go through your day and you only do a 15-minute or a 10-minute time with your lesson, you have done something, and it is clearing away a little bit of the darkness. So anything you do is helping. Don't get to the end of the day and say, oh, I only did 15 minutes. It's better than nothing. So your efforts, however little, have strong support. Did you but realise how great the strength did you but realise how great this strength, your doubts would vanish? And what he's saying is there's such a strength in the Holy Spirit and Jesus' help that our doubts would vanish. Today, we will devote ourselves to the attempt to let you feel this strength. So this is the whole crux of this particular lesson, is about strength. Now, I'm sure Kathy, who's joined today, my friend Kathy, she came to stay with me for a while, and she was saying to me, I'm sure she won't mind me saying this, that she felt weak. She kept saying, I feel very weak, Kate. And this lesson kept coming to my mind, because in the second 20-minute meditation, we are going to be really linking into this strength within us. So today we will devote ourselves to the attempt to let you feel this strength. So that's the key to this lesson, to feel this inner strength. So I just want you to hold on to that thought about this lesson, right? So this strength is the light within us, the love, the Holy Spirit. It's the strength, and it's going to bring us this feeling of really deep inner strength. When you have felt the strength in you, which makes all miracles within your easy reach, you will have no doubt. The miracles your sense of weakness hides will leap into awareness as you feel the strength in you. So this is the strength that you don't have to, it's not to do with muscles or your willing, you know, oh, I've got to really conjure it up. It's letting go. It's once again, we have to, when we do the meditation, we have to say, I want to feel this strength. Bring it in, let me feel it. So 3 times today, this is the lesson, but we're going to do it differently. Set aside 10 minutes for quiet time in which you try to leave your weakness behind. So we're going to do this, and I might get Shannon to read this next section, because Shannon's going to introduce the first meditation. But both these meditations are going to focus on the strength of the Christ self, this inner light. So and we're going to try to leave weakness behind. So if you don't connect to the word weakness, maybe you could say sickness, illness, pain, smallness, sinfulness, not good enough, broken, something, whatever word works for you. It's got weakness at its base, right? That I'm a weak thing that's subject to illness, right? I'm a weak thing that thinks it's broken, that's somehow deficient. So this word weakness can be applied to anything that you're feeling at the moment. And let's go for this feeling of inner strength. So I'll let Shannon read the next couple of paragraphs to introduce this. Thanks, Shannon.
Thank you, Cate. This is accomplished very simply as you instruct yourself that you are not a body. Faith goes to what you want, and you instruct your mind accordingly. I want to read that sentence again, because this is actually a really important part of it too. Faith goes to what you want. So if I'm wanting light, if I'm wanting the Holy Spirit, you know, and I really desire that in my heart, it's like a feeling. It's not necessarily a thought, but it's a feeling of, oh, I just want the Holy Spirit. But when you say that, there's a feeling there, and that feeling is what brings us into it. So remember that too during the meditation, that it's not just the words, but it's the feeling that the words are pointing into, the experience. Faith goes to what you want, and you instruct your mind accordingly. Your will remains your teacher, and your will has all the strength to do what it desires. You can escape the body if you choose. You can experience the strength in you. Begin the longer practice periods with this statement of true cause and effect relationships. Miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light, but I am not a body. What am I? The question with which this statement ends is needed for our exercises today. What you think you are is a belief to be undone. But what you really are must be revealed to you. The belief you are a body calls for correction, being a mistake. The truth of what you are calls on the strength in you to bring to your awareness what the mistake conceals. If you are not a body, what are you? You need to be aware of what the Holy Spirit uses to replace the image of a body in your mind. You need to feel something to put your faith in as you lift it from the body. You need a real experience of something else, something more solid and more sure, more worthy of your faith, and really there. And so I'm just going to read these italic words again, and then we'll sit. And the instructions are to ask the Holy Spirit to show you what you are, and let that feeling behind those words extend out. Miracles are seen in light. The body's eyes do not perceive the light. But I am not a body. What am I?
Okay. As I just noticed that the alarm went off right on the hour. So just stay quiet if you can, because we want to continue this. It's going to be hard for me to call my mind back to read. Oh dear. Okay, so we're going to go into another meditation, which is going to focus on the strength as well. But the last meditation was really about what am I, and really feeling basically on the strength of God, on that beingness in God, and that feeling of inner strength. So we're going to continue this, keep focusing on that strength. Hopefully you're getting a feeling. You might have had some experiences of light or love or some experience. So, and if you haven't and your mind's distracted, just keep practicing. So I'm going to read this section through and then go back to the meditation. All right. So if you are not a body, what are you? Ask this honestly and then devote several minutes to allow your mistaken thoughts about your attributes to be corrected and their opposites to take their place. So we're not just going to devote several minutes, we're going to devote 20 minutes, but I'll read through this and then we'll do it. Say, for example, I am not weak, but strong. I am not helpless, but all-powerful. I am not limited, but unlimited. I am not doubtful, but certain. I am not an illusion, but a reality. I cannot see in darkness, but in light. In the second phase of this exercise period, try to experience these truths about yourself. Concentrate particularly on the experience of strength. Remember that all sense of weakness is associated with the belief that you are a body, a belief that is mistaken and deserves no faith. Try to remove your faith from it, if only for a moment. You will be accustomed to keeping faith with the more worthy in you as we go along, which is, I think, going through the lessons. Relax for the rest of the practice period, confident that your efforts, however meagre, are fully supported by the strength of God and all his thoughts, which just means all his love, all his infinite love. It is from them that your strength will come. And those thoughts are the Holy Spirit's thoughts as well. Because the Holy Spirit is like a wave of correction coming from God, because they're sort of like God's this infinite eternal love just creating, and we are his creations, and we're creating those creations because it's like in heaven, there's just in our mind, it's just ongoing. It's just forever and forever, eternally, this love just creating more love, just blessing itself on and on. And because we've had a tiny mad idea and we believe ourselves to be caught in a world of form, this ongoing love is like it's like something that's coming into our mind and reminding us over and over of where we are and what we are. And that's what we call the Holy Spirit. It's just like a reminder. Come back, let go of this little crazy dream that you're having, let go of this idea or body, and come back to your true home. It is true through their support that you will feel the strength in you. They are united with you in this practice period in which you share a purpose like their own. Theirs is the light in which you will see miracles, because their strength is yours. Their strength becomes your eyes that you may see. So the strength is that a reminder, the feeling of some strength within you that's not this. It's not any other strength except the experience of feeling that strength that is your true self, and the eyes that you see is your perception, the spiritual eyes, the spiritual mind that will see. So now let's do this a 20-minute to finish off this today on this 20-minute meditation. To really focus on the idea that we are strong, powerful, unlimited, certain, a reality, and we see with the light of Christ, the light of love. We have that light, that inner light. So what I'm going to do is I'll set the timer, and from time to time I'll read these out. So you keep your focus on this. So here we go. Let's really go for this feeling of inner strength. So just relax and let go. Tell yourself, I am not a body. I am free. I am as God created me. I am not weak, but strong. I am strong. I am strong. I am not helpless, but all powerful. I am powerful. Powerful in light, in love. I am not limited, but unlimited. Feel yourself expanding. Feel yourself unlimited. I am an unlimited. I am free. I am not doubtful, but certain. Feel this certainty. Feel this strength. I am not an illusion, but a reality. My true self has a reality, is a reality. It is here in my mind. This feeling of strength is my true self. Reality is my real self. Unlimited strength, strong. I cannot see in darkness, but in light. I am in the light. I'm in the love and the light. I see in light. I am strong, not weak. I am unlimited, not limited. I am a spirit. I am not a body. I am mind, free and happy, vast, eternal, unlimited, boundless, full of joy, absolutely free, a strength. I am strong. I focus on the inner strength. I am strong. Light and strength are one. That strength is the light. It's the love of God. It's the all-encompassing love. I am powerful in God's love. I am strong in God's love. I am unlimited in God's love. I am certain in God's love. I have my reality in God's love. I am in the light of God's love. You might feel an amazing joy coming through. There's a really lifting up of joy. You're just feeling a vastness. No boundaries. There's just this infinite love, boundaryless. Just everywhere being love. Unlimited. Okay. That's the 20 minutes now. And so what we just try to stay in that silence, because it can just really bring you to a really deep place. It's hard to do anything after this. So Monica has just, let me have a look what you've typed in here, Monica. Thanks, Cate Shannon and everyone. My prayer was for strength and the steadying of my feet this morning. A lot of patterns and beliefs being shaken loose. A lot around the self-concept. All blocks in seeing. Feels like ungluing, helpful to be able to step back from it in the meditation today and see the bigger picture. Perfect timing. And helpful, thank you. I was contemplating getting people to share, but I feel that it's better, I was guided, it's better just to remain where you are, because it takes the mind out to listen to what someone else has to say, right? So stay in that place. Try to keep it. Just remain there for as long as you want. It's so beautiful. So you can keep your eyes closed if you feel that's where you're at the moment. You're feeling so deep in that. And what I'd like you to do now is just have a feeling of gratitude for everyone here, for myself, for Shannon, for all your brothers, for everyone everywhere. So try to just really feel this deep gratitude just for a few moments. Just feel how grateful. And this gratitude might really, really feel much stronger in you now that there's been a deep quietness. It's really going to have a lot more power within you. Just let it bubble up. Now, what I'm going to suggest is when we finish the Zoom, if you would like to continue on in your own time between now and when you go to bed, or even when you get into bed, on the back of this quietness and this deep, going deep into your mind to that feeling of strength. One option is to really express gratitude for God, to God. When you're lying there, you can do it now if you like, or later on, just as an exercise. You really express gratitude to God. Like feel your whole being filled with gratitude for God. And that is what takes you directly to the experience. Love and gratitude, if you'd like to look it up, it's at the start of the Song of Prayer pamphlet. So I just encourage you all to practice this throughout the week. Surrender to God. Surrender to the love. Feel yourself lifting away from the body. Have no awareness of it. And have your beingness in this beautiful love. And it's that easy and that simple as what we've done here today. And there's no words involved. Thank you, Shannon, my co-host. Thank you, everyone. I love you. I bless you. I honor you. And next week we'll do the cross blessing again. If you came on today to be part of that, come back next week and we'll do that. We'll do it every so often. Thank you. Love you. See you next week. Bye.